Mm. What's going on, guys? Oh my gosh. I gotta move this so I can look at you. I just housed 6 hamburger patties, pound and a half of meat with bacon and cheese. Oh, it was awesome. I had never eaten that much meat that fast. Woo. It's like a vacuum cleaner up in here. I coached a class at the local CrossFit gym and then stay there and talk for a little bit to some people. And I was running late, had to stop at Five Guys and get some burgers. And now I'm here. All right, it's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday. That means we are going to talk about something related to fitness. I may burp a few times through this video because I just jammed a pound and a half of food down my face. And I'm also drinking a soda stream. So I'm drinking carbonated water. So that's not going to make it any better. All right, today we're going to talk about, first off, let's before we get started, don't forget if you hop on, make sure you say hi so I know you're here. And we're going to talk today about understanding progress and being okay with seemingly not going anywhere and how that works. Okay. So there's a few different things that come into play when we talk about progress and getting better in our fitness, in our health, in our nutrition, habits, whatever it may be, lifestyle. And the first thing we're going to talk about, which is really the most obvious thing, is life. Life gets in the way, and that is okay. The biggest concept when it comes to understanding progress is this may I say the biggest, it may not be the biggest, but one of the more important concepts when it comes to understanding progress is the idea that your perception dictates and rules everything. Okay. So how you perceive your progress, how you perceive your goals, how you perceive the light, you know, your lifestyle, your habits, how you feel, all of those things come into play, and all of those things change. Your perception changes over time, changes based on the circumstances, changes based on how you experience things. So you have to be aware. I don't know if that came through or not, but your perception changes based on your experience, things that happen to you, and you have to be aware of what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, what your perception of things are, and kind of take a step back sometimes and kind of look at the situation from a big perspective, right? And ask yourself, what is the reality of my perception compared to what is reality? What is the reality versus my perception? Not the reality of my perception. What is reality versus my perception of what's going on and where I am? Okay, so that's the first thing to kind of remember and keep that in mind. So because everything is kind of affected and filtered through your perception. I may look at you and say you are making fantastic progress. Here's a good example. One of the groups today, somebody posted their graph of their weight loss, right? It's like a pound, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, not quite a pound and a half a week over like a 6 week period. They lost 7 pounds. They were frustrated. They're concerned. Is this fast enough? I don't think I'm losing fast enough. That's not, what I'm looking for. I need to go faster. The perception in this person's head is this is supposed to be a life-changing diet. I should be losing more than I am. What's wrong? Right? But if you could change your perception and look at it this way, a pound to a pound and a half a week, that's over 60 pounds a year. If someone needed to lose 60 pounds of fat, that would be absolutely phenomenal to be able to stick to a routine. Number one, to be able to stick to a routine for a year. But then if you stick through that and you actually lose a pound and a half a week consistently, that shows that you are doing the right thing consistently and you are being successful over that long period of time. right? So she did 6 weeks and she was getting frustrated because it wasn't fast enough. That was based on her perception. It's absolutely fast enough. So me looking at it as a coach, my perception of her results is absolutely fantastic. So I would, if I were working with her, I would work with her on her mindset. I wouldn't change anything that she's doing because what she's doing is working, right? It's her mindset that needs to change about her progress, right? That's a big challenge. A lot of what I do as a coach isn't necessarily about changing and tweaking and giving someone the right macros. It's a lot of time is spent in getting people to understand where they are and where they're going and what they need to do to stay successful. It's about changing your perception, changing the way that you're looking at the circumstance so that you can make better decisions. Most times people have an understanding of what they need to do. Most times people ask a question, and if I keep my mouth shut for long enough and let them talk, they'll answer their own question. So it's not always about information, it's about how you're looking at the information. And when you can change how you look at the information and how you filter it, right? That's when really magical things start to happen. So when it comes to progress, perception is a big, big piece. Are you looking at it the way that you need to look at it, right? That goes, this is a complete rant right now. That goes on the other side of things, right? It's not always I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing the right things. Sometimes your perception is that you're doing what you need to be doing, but you're doing more than you need to be doing. I deal with a lot of people. I know some people that are going to watch this video that are going to know that I'm talking to them when I say you don't have to work out 7 days a week. You don't have to do 2 workouts every day. It's okay to take a rest day, right? The perception that these people have is that they need to work to get better. And their perception and their expectation of what their body's doing and what their program, what their training is all about needs to change so that they understand the benefit and how they're going to get better when they rest. It's okay to rest. It is required. It's not even just okay to rest. If you're not resting, you're doing more harm than good. And that's me looking at it as a coach and understanding and having the knowledge and experience to be able to tell that to somebody, right? So perception on a lot of different fronts, okay? A lot of different fronts. Your perception and how you look at what you're doing makes a big difference, okay? That's where information and coaching makes a huge difference. All right, I actually have this on my board. Info, I'd show you, but I don't want to show you the rest of my room because it's a mess. Info versus coaching. All right, on my whiteboard. Because I was going to write a blog or do a video or whatever about it. I'll talk about it a little bit here. You can get a ton of information anywhere. This is a complete side talk. Okay. You can get information anywhere. Why do you need a coach? You need a coach because information is only half of the equation. Understanding how to apply that information, understanding how your perception is affecting your ability to use that information, and changing your perception, changing your interpretation to fit what you're trying to do is what a coach helps you with. Okay. Oftentimes people get bogged down, get so much information overload that they just don't know what to do. They're asking a bazillion questions all the time. They're trying a bunch of different things. Nothing's working. They're getting frustrated. They don't know who to listen to because everyone's saying all kinds of different things and it all contradicts each other, right? How do you know if this person said X and this person said Y that either of them are right or wrong? Potentially they're both wrong. Potentially they're both correct, but based on the situation, only one or the other applies to you. That is why coaching is so, so important because as coaches, we've been through it. We've worked with enough people. We've had enough training and done enough research and experimented on ourselves. We've done all of this stuff and we've seen a ton of different scenarios where we can take the information and we're able to apply and filter based on where you are and what you're trying to do. Okay. So coaching versus information, huge, huge, huge difference. All right. Okay. Back to progress. Why progress is not linear. It doesn't go in a straight line, guys. You're not going to start today and then exactly 6 months from now be where you want to be. You're going to start today and you're going to be progressing somewhere about 2 weeks from now. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to do something that's going to set you back, right? You're going to get back on the track, and then you're going to go for a couple days. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to do something to set you back. This is nutrition. This is fitness. Either one, right? You're going to put a schedule in place, and you're going to stick to that schedule and work out 4 days a week until you hit 3 weeks in, and you're just like, I'm not working out today. And then you feel like, okay, then you feel defeated, and now you got to struggle through the whole process of getting back on track, right? That's a different discussion, all right? Life happens. We are human. We are not machines. We have other influences on our lives that prevent us from staying 100% perfect in anything that we do. You will never be perfect, guys. It's not going to happen. Stop trying. Okay. What you want to do is try to be consistent. That is all you got to worry about. Just show up and do something. Okay. Show up and do something. If you miss a day, get back the next day. That's all it is. That is all it is. Literally, guys, that is all it is. I've been doing this for 10 years. I got started about 10 years ago in changing my lifestyle. Okay. I had months where I didn't feel motivated to do squat. All right. But the days where I didn't feel motivated or I was prevented from, let's look at COVID, where I was prevented from doing the things that I wanted to do because I wasn't able, I didn't have equipment, didn't have access to the things that I wanted to use. And I did stuff at home. I did some things, but it wasn't nearly at the same level of intensity or consistency during the quarantine, lockdown, etc. Even with that, even with the multiple times throughout the past 10 years where I went weeks or months at a time and just didn't feel like doing a squat, the amount of time that I've been consistent has far outweighed any amount of time that I've taken off. Consistency will overcome anything. As long as you keep moving, you are not going to fail. Okay. That is huge for you guys to understand. Huge. That's a perception thing. That is a huge thing for you to understand. Just keep swimming. Hashtag Dory. Okay. All right. So life happens, guys. It's okay. You're not going to be perfect. Get over it. All right. A couple other things to understand in the process. So that's just progress in general. It's not linear. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to get sidetracked, you're going to get unmotivated, you're going to feel lazy, you're going to work too hard, hurt yourself, and have to take a break. Whatever, any of those, you're going to go on a vacation, you're going to have to work overtime, whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is, you're going to get off track. Just get back on track and keep going. As long as you're on track more than you're off track, you're going to get progress. It's going to happen. I promise you. Okay, be okay with it. All right, that is progress in general. Let's talk specifics about the process of progress. Okay, in the process, there's a couple things that happen. One, let's talk about fitness. Okay, we're going to talk about intensity versus technique. Okay, I talk about it all the time. You hear me talk about how important movement is and how important it is that you focus on how well you move, the technique that you use. Technique always comes first before intensity, or before intensity. You must demonstrate technique consistently before you can increase your intensity, increasing your weight, increasing your speed, etc. Do it right first. Do it right first. Here's a big thing that I run into often. Somebody comes to me, they send me a video, they come to me in a class, I get a personal training session with them, and they're working out. I give them a program to do, they're doing an exercise, and I identify something that they're doing incorrectly, something that mechanically is not giving them the benefit of the exercise that they're doing and could potentially cause them an injury over time, right? So I fix that. I give them some tips, I give them a cue how to fix that movement. Immediately, they cannot perform that movement as well as they thought they could. The perception is completely jacked now. Well, I could do this with heavier weight before when I was doing it wrong. So why can't I just keep doing it that way? Well, you can't keep doing it that way because you're developing a movement pattern that is going to tear you down and make you break something down the road. You're doing it incorrectly, and that means you're actually not getting as much power or strength or range of motion or movement in the exercise, even though you feel like the weight is heavy. Right? So here's what has to happen to that person. And this is that mind game. Okay. they need to take a step back and reduce their intensity. They need to go backwards in their progress, okay? Because their perception of what their progress is wrong. Their perception of progress is based on the weight that they're moving, their ability to move 100 pounds, okay? Because that perception doesn't tie into the definition of fitness, which includes proper movement, all right? Then when we reset the perception and change what they're doing based on the goal of functional fitness and health, now they have to readjust and move backwards, because when they move properly, they use the right mechanics, they use the right muscles. Those mechanics and those muscles have not been developed the way they need to be developed, right? So they can't support the weight that they were moving incorrectly before. You can still develop strength with improper movement. Don't be fooled by that. That doesn't mean you're doing it right. That doesn't mean you are functional. It just means you can move some weight. All right. So when we correct their movement pattern, they have to go backwards in the progress. That's a mind game. Now, here's the cool part about that. If they consistently practice and work the skill and technique of the new movement pattern that they're using, they will surpass and far surpass what they were doing prior, because now they're using proper mechanics. They're safe, they're more powerful, they're stronger, their range of motion is improved. And all the benefits of that exercise can now be applied to them because they're not shortcutting it just to try to get a high number. Right? The correlation to that, I would say, is the difference between fat loss and lean mass gain. Right? We very often, when we talk about forward and backwards, we very often look at losing fat. You've seen my videos before about focusing on lean mass versus trying to lose fat. It's the picture in this group, right? The difference in why it's better to focus on lean mass growth than it is to focus on fat loss. Okay? Because lean mass growth is what is going to give you functional fitness and health. It is going to improve the efficiency of your metabolism. It's going to help you lose fat. It's going to increase your strength. It's going to do all of the things that we're trying to do when we get healthy that we think fat loss is doing for us, that it's actually not. Right? So the perception needs to change when it comes to nutrition and body composition and health. I'm not trying to lose fat. Yes, I'd like to lose fat. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Just like the person lifting the weight. Yes, I'd like to lift more weight. That's awesome. But if I can't do it by building the foundation first, then I'm not getting the benefit of all the work I'm putting in. Okay. So when it comes to weight, exercises, working out, fitness, form comes first because that's the foundation. When it comes to body composition, lean mass comes first because that's the foundation. You can't build strength without lean mass, right? You need to, and strength is the foundation for fitness, right? So all of these things, it's a big circle, right? You need lean mass to build strength. You need strength to build fitness. You need to move properly to build correct strength, right? So it's a big circle. Okay. So keep that in mind. Sometimes you may have to go backwards in your training in order to relearn how to do something so that you can do it better in the future, so that you can have more freedom in the future, so that you can move consistently, move safely, not hurt yourself in the future. Long-term view, guys, this is not a quick fix. Another perception. Everything goes back to perception and mindset, guys. You have to understand that this is for your health. This is not for I need to fit into a dress next week. This is not I have a suit I have to put on because there's a conference call, or there's a function, a dinner I need to go to. And I haven't worn a suit in the whole COVID, right? I actually bought a suit. Literally, I bought a suit because I had two events to do, and both of them got canceled. I had got a brand new suit in my closet I haven't even worn yet in over a year. Crazy. I need someone to have an event that I need to wear a suit. Okay. Yeah. So, gosh, guys, this is awesome. I'm trying to not just ramble. Something else to think about. What do I have here? Back, forward, intensity. I kind of talked about both actually. So intensity and technique balance, and then stepping back in order to step forward. All right. So Just some of my thoughts and rambles on progress. It's okay if you're not 100%. You want to be on track more than you're off track and consistently try to stay there. That's all that matters. If you're not perfect, don't sweat it. Don't stress over the process, guys. Don't stress over living your life. Live your life, enjoy yourself. The more you can enjoy what you're doing, the longer you're going to do the right things. Keep that in mind. Okay. And then when it comes to fitness, when it comes to your body composition, remember the foundations have to come first. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Strength, right? Lean mass and proper movement before you add intensity. Okay. Don't go fast if you can't do it slow. Don't go heavy if you can't do it light. All right. Things to keep in mind, guys. If you have any questions, comments, please add them to the comments of the post on the live when I post it. And I'm always open for suggestions on things that you guys want to hear me ramble on about. All right. Take it easy.